Hello, I'm David Southall, an advocate with Bibby Consulting Support. I've been asked to take time out from my hectic schedule to let you know 4 points that I consider important for a business to know about when they receive Employment Tribunal papers through the post. The first point is this: doing nothing is not an option. It's important that you respond to the papers and that you recognise that this case will be followed up by the person bringing it. It's a false comfort to say to yourself, oh, the person will go away and get bored, or that a tribunal will simply rip them up and saying this case has no merit. Neither of these things will happen without you taking action to protect your business. As a second point to that, it's important that you maintain the momentum of your defence. So then we need to move on to the second point. This is about responding to the allegations. Once a tribunal sends out the papers, the company has 4 weeks in which to respond with their own defence. 4 weeks may sound a long time, but in the context of a busy working environment, it can pass very quickly. If you don't respond within this time, then the other side has an open goal, as no defence will have been entered, and they will automatically be successful when it comes to a court hearing. You also need to be aware that time must be spent on the defence, because what you say initially must be carried right through to the actual court hearing. What you need to do next is my third point, which is collecting evidence. The initial document you receive from the tribunal is split roughly into 2 sections. One is factual, which is simply that their correct job title, their wage, their hours of work, which can easily be resolved by checking the records. The more complex part of the pleading is their allegations against the company. These can be wide-ranging and detailed and go back some time. Therefore, you need to start collecting evidence as soon as possible. This evidence is from 2 sources. Firstly, former colleagues of the person bringing the case. What do they know about the allegations that are being made? If it's an allegation that the person's been unfairly dismissed, then it's fairly simple to identify the dismissing officer, the person who made the decision to dismiss. But in more complex cases of discrimination, there might be a sequence of events going back over a long period of time involving a number of people. All these people need to be identified and their views sought of the allegations made. It's also important to remember that people's lives don't revolve around the tribunal, and employees will leave for whatever reason. Therefore, it's important to keep contact details of these individuals on file so they can be contacted to attend a tribunal if necessary. The second form of evidence that you need is documentation. So this is paperwork, letters, minutes of meetings, records of pay, records of their work rate, but also don't forget things like CCTV camera footage or computer usage records. This is the sort of information that can vanish even after 2 or 3 weeks of someone leaving employment for whatever reason. So therefore, it's important to consider and collect as much evidence as you can early on. And so we look at the fourth and final point. It's concerning obtaining outside advice. Preparing a case, a defence, and running it to tribunal is time-consuming, difficult, and pedantic. And there are time limits running all the time which need to be complied with in order that the case does not get struck out by the tribunal. That's where Bibby Support can assist you in this. We also have the advice that's necessary before any case occurs. Because once you get a tribunal papers through the post, you're stuck with what's happened historically. If you have sought advice on any complaints within the workplace or the dismissal of an individual, you can be sure that the necessary evidence is in place for when you need to defend your actions in a tribunal. So we also provide what I like to think of as a killer app if you will. This is a service called the Mock Tribunal Seminar. Here, delegates attend and take part in a full day's workshop, actually undergoing what a person would undergo in a tribunal environment. So they take the role of witnesses, they're cross-examined, they're briefed on the documents, and they see how the information from a dismissal gets used by a tribunal in determining how a decision is made as to whether someone is fairly or unfairly dismissed. Therefore, delegates from companies attending the mock tribunal seminars are perfectly able, after the seminar, to ensure that your company is best represented throughout the tribunal process.